So they always say great first impression as you walk into the private elevator lobby at the Ritz-Carlton Residences 724. Tell me a little bit about your design here.
Right. Well, what we did here, the main goal was to give it a feeling of warmth and embracing you when you come in. You're welcome. And it's a little deeper tone for richness on the walls. We did a textured wall covering and an odd-shaped mirror. It just, there's also a bench if you're waiting for the elevator. I'm a little tired.
Right there. It's beautiful. Right. And walking in and looking at that view.
And then, contrast the beautiful view to the ocean and everything about Miami Beach. That's
amazing. Let's go see it. Wow, what a design. I haven't seen this. As you know, I've been in this building selling it for the last 5 years or so and looking around right now. And, I've always been a big fan of your design, and you really did an incredible job here.
Well, one of the things we did was off the bat, we switched the dining room, which was in this section, into the living room and the dining room in that part.
And one of the challenges I think you see from most developers is that they do these square boxes, and there's really not a lot of interest. But as I walked in here, the first thing I saw is how you've redesigned and you've put the living area here, which by floor plan it showed over here in the corner.
Right. We just felt that this room and the interaction between the living room and the kitchen, people cooking while their friends are watching TV, was more important than the dining room. And the other thing we did was we broke up some of the straight angles that, the basic architecture had, and introduced some soft curves. And a lot of this is my furniture that I have on the market. Mm-hmm. The sofa and that chair and these bar counter stools are all manufactured.
So we're standing in the coziest part of the residence, and that's the living area. I love the design. I love the furniture. Please tell me a little bit about your plan here.
Okay. Well, the plan started with an oval shape of the area rug that we wanted to break up some of the straight lines, building and the rooms. The sofa is one of my pieces, manufactured and available to the public. Also, the area rug is a custom design. We stayed with a palette from the beach and the sand, the ocean, the sky, and carried it into the kitchen. So there's a easy relationship between the kitchen and the living room where people can interact.
I think that was a great idea. It's just, with everyone interacting in the kitchen and also the living area, if you're sitting here reading a book, watching the game, you really can enjoy the view on the outside and all this beautiful natural light. So really impressive. So tell me a little bit about the dining room and how you made this transition in between the two spaces.
Well, the first thing about this was the shape of this room, which is not square or rectangle. So we came up with the parallel to the walls and three-sided shape. The next challenge was getting it into the building. So we ended up in parts, bringing it and assembling it. The other challenge was the window that looked out over onto the condenser units of the next building. And we came up with this dividend screen idea that allowed the light in at the same time, block the view so you weren't looking out. It gave more interest than just the shade that would be down all the time.
Agreed. I look around and just the overall design is a very sophisticated feel, and it's inviting as well. With the screens, which I think is absolutely brilliant, and the natural light that comes in. Really impressive. So take me into the primary suite, because when I first walked into this floor plan, I immediately looked left and I saw how interesting this looks. I remember how the wall was down. So please tell me exactly what you did here.
Right. Well, we kept the owner's request of having the whole space be one, as opposed to closet closing off into its own zone. We created this articulated panels that have the closet space behind them. They carry you visually right into the room, and it gives the TV a space to where it feels that it belongs there. It's home and at rest. And it had a built-in headboard that we created for the client that matched the millwork, a custom carpet, area rug, and gave a little bit of color to the pop-up ceiling.
I love that. Yeah, it really gives that depth. From floor to ceiling, millwork is beautiful. It gives that look, that interest, and it takes away, again, you're brilliant. You took away from that developer's box. Right? People walk in and think, what do I do in here? You answered the question. So the guest room is great. It's light, it's bright, feels a little whimsical. And the mirrors, I think the mirrors are the biggest thing in this room.
Yeah. Well, they do several things. They bring the space into a much larger feeling. Okay. And they also accentuate the headboard, taking it all the way to the ceiling. Visually, you want the room to feel airy,
yes,
not cramped. And I think they do that very well. We also have a custom carpet in here, one of my designs. And for a housewarming gift, I gave them one of my paintings that also works extremely well in here.
Their guests are very fortunate to be sleeping in this room.
That's true.